shout out Zertis. This is once again a Zertis AI made generated video, and I believe Zertis actually made the beat himself. Not in. And I cut that a minute short, but it's pretty epic. Good day, good evening, whatever time it is, wherever you are, while you are tuning in right now. We are going to discuss, well, red-blue shift. Red and blue together equals purple. We get purple plasma. Are there such things as purple plasma jellyfish? Purple plasma blobs, purple plasma arcs, purple plasma ball lightning. Good day. All right, enough of that. Let's get down to business. How is everybody? Oh, we got 24 people watching. 5:46 in 3:33 a.m. on the Pacific Coast right now. So that is 6:33 a.m. Eastern time. So good morning, grand rising to all of you waking up out east and starting your day. And we will start this day of this stream looking at some pictures of ice because it is currently February 6th. And it is cold out, especially in Canada. And let's there. What am I showing here? It is how the monoatomic or the colloidal water freezes. And if you're seeing the lines there, that's in the tray from above. It's fields of bubbles, how the ice freezes. And this, now you can see, look at that. You've got 4 distinct fields of bubbles frozen throughout that ice. Isn't that something? And this actually happens, well, to the whole tray of ice. If we're gonna be honest, it's quite something. Oops, let's get the next one. There's the next one. There's the next one. Again, all the bubble fields, the ice, like in these suspended. Oh, sorry about the glare. Again. Another one. The whole tray, every single ice cube. These crazy bubble frozen fields. And that is just, and it's every single cube, every single ice tray, every single time. But I actually, coming up the next pictures, outside. Oh, no, that's the jars. That we'll go into that later. Oh, we will go into this one later. And this one, exotic propulsion, Jeremiah, I see in the chat. You're going to want to join because here we have pink and red state copper suspended and sealed in this. It's self-organized and frozen. It was originally copper oxide at the top, but now it's created the purple and red stuff that lights on fire and is extremely reactive. That crazy stuff you asked for. Yeah, and it's sealed. Every time I move this jar, it cracks the seal on top and then it reforms. Now it's got the crystallized purple and red state growing on top. It is just wild. So yeah, look at see it's suspended. Look at the crystals growing off that pink state and the red state. And this thing has been, this is one of my first active jars that I ever created and sealed. This is about 8 or 9 years old now that it's, well, maybe even 10, that it's been sealed, that I have not opened the jar. And it's been moved like countless times. Oops, wrong way. But yes, it's this reactive stuff at the top. And it, so here's the sealed lid, and then it seals and crystallizes itself at the top of the water. It's something else. Which way are we going? Okay, right way again. We're on track. We're taking a trip through the alchemy lab before we go into the purple plasmas. Well, never mind. That's the end of that for now. Let's go into the first story. Oh, no, this is the last one. Whoops. What am I doing? Let's get it together. This one. Here we go. Story number 1.
As they drive down a dark road, they see a strange object fall from the sky.
This object resembles a parachute, and it seems to be drifting down into a nearby field.
As they get closer, they quickly realize that this isn't a parachute. This is something altogether unusual, if not otherworldly.
They find a large purple mass about 6 feet across. It seemed to glow. It seemed internally luminescent, and it sparkled in the dark.
Pausing it there. Boom. It's internally luminescent, sparkles in the dark, it glows, and it's purple. Literal space goo purple jelly falling from space. Maybe it is this, well, it's most likely a plasma, or it could be a macro culture of a microbiology. But yes, let us continue. And the purple. I bring the purple up because, well, you got the red-blue shift everywhere. And what is red? It's hydrogen. What is blue? It's oxygen.
But then, seemingly aware of the cops, the weird substance starts to move.
The strangest thing about this mass is that eyewitnesses swear they saw it climb up a lamppost before evaporating into thin air.
The officers report the encounter, which makes headline news. And it inspires what will become one of the most famous alien horror movies of all time, The Blob.
Hey there, ever heard of an Asian spice that can turn you into a raging bull in the bedroom, keeping your A game strong all night long?
That was a fail.
The cult classic movie, The Blob, features a gelatinous mass that falls from the sky and starts devouring everyone it touches.
The original event is forgotten, and the film is taken as nothing more than harmless fiction. Until 30 years later, when The Blob returns. August 10th, 1979, Frisco, Texas. Local residents watched the spectacle of the Perseid meteor shower, so called because these space rocks emanate from the direction of the constellation of Perseus. The next morning.
All right, so when is the Perseus meteor shower? Let's start looking for purple space goo during the Perseus meteor shower. Purple Perseus meteor shower, maybe?
Sybil Christian is surprised to see 3 unexpected visitors in her front yard.
To her astonishment, there are 3 purple plum-colored blobs.
These objects are the size of a desk telephone, and they have a texture like whipped cream.
Just like the blob discovered by the Philadelphia cops 30 years earlier. As Sybil stares in amazement, one of them suddenly vanishes.
Given the circumstances that they seem to have fallen during the Perseid meteor shower, you'd have to wonder if it isn't something that might have come from space.
Local authorities alert NASA.
Shout out to that girl. I agree. It probably came from space.
Whose scientists conduct tests on one of the blobs and make an incredible announcement.
Initially, everyone is astonished because NASA announced these actually could be of extraterrestrial origin.
What? Never a straight answer announces that these are most likely from extraterrestrial origin.
But as news spreads, the authorities move to quell public alarm. And NASA makes...
Was there actually public alarm? Or were they like, this is a reason to never come forward with what's actually out there?
Makes a second announcement.
The next day, they changed their minds and thought that it might be caustic soda from a nearby battery.
Just caustic soda. You know, that stuff that eats your flesh or pretty much anything because it's caustic and yeah.
Factory.
The theory is a factory truck picked up the caustic blobs as it was driving, and they happened to dislodge and land in Sybil's yard.
But which of...
Hold on. It somehow picked up the caustic blobs, all 3 of them, while driving, and then simultaneously dropped all 3 blobs on Miss Lady's yard. Miss Christian, I think. All 3. This caustic purple blob stuff. Strange. I don't think so.
NASA's 2 statements is correct.
This is actually kind of suspicious. Why would you go and announce this could be extraterrestrial if you weren't pretty sure of it being that? Are they trying to cover something up?
Right? Like that is absolute normal reasoning. Like, why would you announce it that it's probably from extraterrestrial origins unless you're like, hey, we got some evidence this came from space, shit. And then they're like, oh my God, this actually came from space. We can't get this out there when they actually figure out what it is or where it came from? Probably.
Or did they just simply get it wrong?
Sybil Christian, who saw the blobs up close, decides to inspect the caustic soda for herself.
Final nail in the coffin of this theory, I believe, is when Sybil goes to look at the actual waste at the factory, and she said, "This is nothing like what fell into my garden."
These blobs had the consistency of whipped cream, yet the industrial waste from this battery factory
Consistency
was
of
very,
whipped cream.
very solid and heavy.
If there are no terrestrial
Solid caustic
explanations
soda.
for these masses,
So solid caustic versus whipped cream, like glowing, disappearing purple plasma stuff that came from the Perseid meteor shower, just like the same blob glowing stuff that the police had witnessed and reported 30 years prior.
what processes are going on in space that could create these blobs?
Some experts believe that certain life forms that exist on Earth could provide a clue. Known as slime molds, these single-celled organisms have existed for 1 billion years. They appear as gelatinous slime and can be found in environments.
Right? So it's like you got that, and you got tardigrades out in space, and probably some fungi, and apparently octopus are not from this planet, so they got to be alien or from somewhere else. I don't know. Interesting. Maybe they travel in this gelatinous plasma space goo. I don't know. We're getting wild tonight.
All over the world.
Slime molds appear to act cooperatively, they pulse as they move, and they have a soft, pliable texture that appears to be quite distinctive and slimy for that reason.
They're composed of like individual microbes that can kind of live on their own most of the time, but in certain situations they glom together and kind of act as like a super organism, and they can look really slimy and kind of gloopy.
What's most fascinating about this mold is that it is intelligent.
There are a vast number
Did I hear that right? A slimy and gloopy super organism. Slimy, gloopy super organism. Say that 5 times fast. I dare you.
cells acting cooperatively, and that could represent the beginnings of complexity in terms of living processes.
It's like a blob of millions of brains. This collective brain has the capability of moving towards food sources and makes decisions for the community.
So we have intelligent, conscious, decision-making, superorganism, gloopy blob from their description. Glob, blob, blob.
Some believe that the similarities between the slime mold found on Earth and the purple blobs discovered in Philadelphia and Texas may be proof of extraterrestrial.
Hold on there now. Philadelphia and Texas? Was that like 2 times in the 40s or?
Terrestrial life. June 2018. 40 years after mystery purple blobs fall over a small Texas town, scientists looking for living organisms in the galaxy make a shocking discovery. Interstellar space is teeming with blob-like grease.
Say what now? The interstellar space is teeming with blob-like grease. Grease.
We typically think of space as being this giant void, but we've recently learned that it's actually full of this greasy goo.
It's weird to think of parts of space as being greasy, but I mean, if you could get enough of these.
Greasy space. They're selling us on greasy space now. It's filled with blob-like greasy space.
It's like hydrocarbon molecules together. You could probably get like a little greasy ball going.
But that's not all. Disturbingly, in this cosmic blob-like matter, there could be signs of life.
It's a living process that creates this material, that forms this material continuously, and just flings it out into the space between stars. So what we are seeing in the form of this grease-like material, organic material,
Organic grease-like material in space. Are we talking exoplasm? Are we talking plasma? What sort of space grease is the universe now filled with? This is news to me. This sounds a little greasy.
material in such vast quantity is the result of microbiology operating on a huge cosmic scale.
Boom! Time that perfect. No ad happening. All right. Point being, microbiology, and he's like on a huge scale. No, it's microbiology on a macro galactic scale. Micro to macro. We got space lube. I think there's a little bit more in the purple glob story.
The total mass of this material is huge and makes up about 1/100th of the entire mass of the galaxy.
Space could be oozing with life, filling the dark void between the stars.
Some scientists believe alien life forms floating in space may use retinal pigments to capture energy from stars. Creatures known to do this have a distinct color: purple.
Boom! We got purple. Purple space goo, jellies, and interdimensional space goo that is alive and is a macro organism that is gloopy and gloppy, according to space.com.
Could this organic space material be related to phenomena on Earth?
NASA hopes that its groundbreaking research may one day answer questions about whether mankind is alone in the universe. But others believe those answers can already be found in chapters from the space agency's past.
Shut off, stand by. Roger, flight out.
December 9th, 1965. A dazzling fireball burns through the early evening sky over Pennsylvania.
It looked like it was flaming, but it was really glowing. Whatever it is, it's moving incredibly fast.
And that's enough of that one. Thank you, whatever channel that was. Rush NZ, is that New Zealand? Cool channel if you are, I guess. If you want to watch, and you should, even though they got, 10 times the subscribers as me, still go subscribe and go check out the full video, which I can now. Whoopsie doodles, sorry. Gotta get the main computer fixed. Anyways, there we go. There's the link for everybody in the live chats, and we are currently live on 3X channel, 2 YouTubes, 2 Rumbles, a Twitch, 2 Facebooks, 3 Facebooks. That's a lot. And I think OdySee. I'm not sure. No, I didn't do OdySee this time, but it'll upload to OdySee later. All right, on to the next one. What is the next one? Well, this is actual supposed video shot from NASA by NASA, and I think it looks like it was either filmed under like in a petri dish or in the deep ocean, but apparently this was filmed above us, and when they tried deploying a giant space tether, and it built up a giant charge, such a giant charge that it burst and broke off the shuttle, supposedly, and it turned into, well, this is actual NASA footage here. So let's see. Never a straight answer. Play back at 2. Let's see what we get here. All right. They claim they're spinning, they're zipping around. Video of the day. It's like, that looks like one of my Alchemy jars. Truly does. All right. Slow it down a little. And we'll turn their sound on. So this is apparently oops. My God, I didn't even have it up. Sorry.
Yes, we can see the suggestion of the tether on the right side. Unless that's just a reflection on the window pane.
Yeah, I could definitely see the tether in the viewfinder.
Yes, it will happen.
Unfortunately, it was at a very low angle through the window, and so there's a lot of distortion in the image.
Copy.
We have acquisition out the front window. I'm going to go and take some more pictures of that.
Roger.
Tracy, I have not yet. I need to cover angel hair. It's fascinating stuff.
Okay, here's the last little bit I got through the front window.
Right, so supposedly this is when he switches from one camera and then moves gets a better camera and goes to the very front window of the Endeavor or something, and this is when it gets weird.
Beautiful. We're going to get it on the TVs and downlink to you. We can see the tether.
Great news, Franklin.
Like, look at this. These are glowing space jellies. Old blinkies. Space blinkies. Like, so that is supposedly a 200-meter long space tether that's like supposed to be this giant antenna that they were trying to do. And then look at these giant, like, so some of those would be 10, 20 meters, if I'm correct. At least 6, 10 feet, some of them.
Franklin, we see a long
Look at the blinkies. Like, look at Blinky there.
things and a lot of things swimming in the foreground. Can you
A lot of things swimming in the foreground.
Well, the long line is a tether, and there's a little bit of debris that kind of flies with us. And, in the image,
Franklin, we see a long line, a couple of star-like things, and a lot of things swimming in the foreground. Can you describe?
That's the controller from the ground, supposedly, to the guy up in space. All right, we see the long tether, and then we see some things swimming in the foreground. And can you explain what's going on?
What you're seeing?
well, the long line is a tether, and there's a little bit of debris that kind of flies with us, and it's illuminated by the sun at such low angles. So there's a lot of stray light, and it's getting washed out quickly. But Claude is trying to do a quick, good job here adjusting the cameras.
Copy that.
Tracy, you just got the comment of the day.
Houston, Columbia, I was using both the 20 power binoculars and the 400 millimeter Nikon lens under the body bag, and it only just disappeared in the glare of the sun about 30 seconds ago. The tether looked completely straight. I did not see any bright spots along the tether.
Right? Like, what the actual F? Was that a petri dish? Like, what are these blinking things? Look, they're still there. They're still in the background. And then look at, like, why do we have these perfect hexagrams coming off the light? You've got an orange, a yellow, and a blue going up, or green. It's very tall. Like, it's just so crazy. What the heck is this stuff here? What are these crazy geometries? It's so freaking strange. It's so weird. But look, here's like blinkies. There's the blinkies are there.
At the very bottom, where there was a bright spot, which was unresolvable for me.
Unresolvable for me. Yeah. Still don't know what's going on. Okay. Yes. Now, here, like, what the heck? This truly, is it a plasma ocean of plasma space purple jellies doing their little red-blue shift into this purple plasma space? What is it, like the plasma waters above? What is this? I'm not playing with the sound. Like, look, it's causing accidents. People are freaking out when they see this stuff. But it's blue. It's all blue. Going through. What the heck? Like, oh, it's just, red red, orange, hot, white fire and smoke until all of a sudden it just turns into this crazy blue plasma that supposedly opens up into like what looks like a portal or break. Like it's weird stuff, man. Like seriously, like what? Really? No, it's not aliens, but that's us breaking into outer space. Is it an ocean plasma of blinky purple jellies? All right, like what's going on, ABC News? All right, yeah, that's enough for you guys. And then we got some more. Like, yep, like just we never saw that. We never saw. Did anybody ever see the space shuttle turn into this? I don't recall that. It's so bizarre. It's is it space plasma and jellies? I just like what? It's so weird. Like, oh, there it's red and orange and flame, 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 and then what the heck is that? What is that? What the heck is that? It's so weird. That's not what, like, that's not that. Like, are you kidding me? Where the frick? Yeah, look at this. So this is not this. Sorry, that right there is not that. I don't believe it. I don't know. I don't know. All right. Shout out Primal Space for that vid, I guess. And why not? Why not finish off the purple jelly segment with the cowbell? Because, well, if you believe it's all purple jellies, purple space jellies, then maybe all of a sudden the cowbell at the Iraqi ranch jelly makes sense. I don't know. Y'all tell me. I guess I will now send Jeremiah the link. Probably get on that. Jellyfish footage shows strange object in Iraq. Is that what's leaving this purple space goop? Is space filled with that thing's purple jelly poo and space goo and greasy? Apparently. I don't know. It's just so ridiculous. Oh, why don't I have the Tic Tacs loaded though? Frick, that is actual plasma. But it's not purple, so, or is it? What was next? Aha. Yeah. All right, enough of that cowbell crap, jelly. But let's stick to what's really verified by the Pentagon. What are these plasma Tic Tacs, and could they be red blue shifting too and be purple plasma? I don't know. I don't know. Well, we have 48 beautiful souls watching right now. Love you all. Thank you for being here. Jeremiah, I just sent you the link if you want to join in. Otherwise, I need to figure out what I'm going to play next while I dive into some alchemy. So actually, we're going to do us a little 6-minute intro. Or I'm going to play the old intro. As a little intermission here. And hopefully Jeremiah shows, and I'll probably cut it off 3 or 4 minutes in. As soon as I am set up to give a little alchemy demonstrations.
You crazy mother. Yeah.
It's just BurnEye. Hey, BurnEye just like last week, huh?
It's not finished. There's going to be a part 2. All right, like 30 seconds and we'll be up and running again. And welcome, Jeremiah. We are back.
Yowza, let's get an audio check.
Struggling to get my new phone to work so that I can actually show more stuff, but whatever. I can make it work with the cameras we got. How are you, good sir?
Well, that depends. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can.
All right. I know that it can be finicky on this device. Sometimes the audio is very hard to make out. But I, of course, am very interested in this super unique, strange, semi-oxidized material, especially because of what happens
It'd be
to
a hydride, too. Probably
it
some
could very well
hydride.
be. Yeah, we'll probably be able to tell what it is based on its reaction, but I have not seen that reaction yet. So,
yeah, me neither in that one.
10 years, eh? Is that what you said?
Yeah. So I don't really want to open it yet, but we'll take a closer look, and I'll open another one that I suspect has some red stuff on it, but not quite the purple.
I will say it's a pretty wild look.
Right? There's some crazy metal reactions going on.
Yeah, particularly that one you showed on your cell phone earlier, which I was surprised, by the way, how well your phone showed up on the webcam. I was like, this never works. But I was actually able to see everything really well, and it looked enticing.
It did, and it does, and let us continue the tour here. The jar in the middle behind Ernie there, the big one. It's got the bagel copper coil as the cathode, producing a bunch of hydrogen on it. And then on the anode side, I had, but it's since eroded off, but it's still kind of growing, which is crazy. But it was really growing two giant self-organized tubes off of, I had a little neodymium with some copper. I think there was a little bit of iron on it as well. And it grew into these two giant black tubes, basically. You'll see momentarily.
I suppose I will.
And then the little salsa jar, I just made it 2 days ago, and then it has some zinc white nanotubes that have grown off of it since I sealed it and left it and came back overnight today, and now it's got, I'd say, probably about centimeter in size. These like straight up, like tubular. They're tubular, man. They're these tubular worm-like nanotubes. They're tubular nanotubes, man. How else can I describe them? All right. Well, let's see. A little light. Always fun playing, moving the camera.
Oh yeah, it's about as fun as working with epoxy.
There you go. Now you can see this.
So coming down from the top there and on the right side.
Yeah, I got.
Oh, I see them now. There we go. Yeah, having the light directly behind them certainly helps illuminate things. Yeah, so that is really strange.
Oh, yeah.
You know, one of the interesting things is you can form graphene nanotubes by just simply having an electrical current between tiny little particles of graphite. And if they're fine enough, they'll basically break apart, and the electron flow will help them self-assemble into nanotubes. So it might be possible that the crystalline structure here is being assembled by electrical current flow forward. It's just more efficient for it to grow longer than it is to just grow outwards in any given direction.
Let's see. Right on top, there's these like floating tubes. There we go. Yeah.
So what the heck is going down there at the bottom?
That
wait. Are those not wires?
So that's copper wires connecting up to just what was a zinc sheet, a little zinc strip on top. And then it's produced all this monoatomic zinc and these nanotube zinc.
It kind of looks like you're flying over the clouds. It looks like you have the cloud inside there.
It's a nice fluffy cloud. it. Now you can kind of there. Now you can see the tubes.
All right, that should be cured. And as you're doing a little bit of show and tell, I'm going to do a bit of epoxy mixing here. I'm working on something called the Morton Effect Pulse device. Well, I'm waiting.
Say again?
I'm working on something called the Morton Effect Pulse device. And
Morton Pulse device.
Yeah, it's a rather interesting and simple device. It's basically like a very, very simplified version of the Hodgson-off impulse gravity beam device. But it's much more basic and much easier to assemble. And I haven't seen, up to this point, anybody attempt an independent replication of it. Apparently, my buddy Adam did try to put one together, and he said it worked. So I haven't actually seen any pictures of that one, but there are no videos of any of these things working. So I figure it's about time somebody actually run this properly and do it exactly in the way that Morton did it. And that's made possible because Simon made a 3D printed part, or I should say he made the files for a 3D printed part that I ran on my printer, which is a rather complicated little piece of insulating material. And that should pretty well allow me to have almost the exact same device of the original drawings.
That is awesome and epic, and what we need more of.
I'm looking forward to it. The hard part is going to be now to get that ball perfectly centered. So we'll see how much of a pain that's going to become. All right. So
doesn't that kind of look like Jupiter or Saturn?
Yeah, it actually kind of does.
Right? All right. Let's see that. Oh yeah, I promised you the jar, eh?
That you did. I'll tell you what. Why don't you give me like about 1 minute away from the screen, because I've got to spin this before this epoxy cures. And so I'm going to mute myself, and as soon as you hear me back on the mic, I'll be ready to watch.
All right then. I'm gonna try and get me some more cable in the meantime, so we can actually film with it. But so I have to state, is that not like the vessel of the original homunculus? Because if you ever watch the original Russian homunculus YouTube videos, it was like some black frickin' tubey leechy thingy that looked just like that. Luckily, I just had to put metal in it. Not. Anyways. We're gonna put old exotic propulsion on for a demonstration coming right up. Right. In the meantime, while we are waiting for Jeremiah to get the demonstration ready, whoops. It's on this one. Here we go. One more time. Which one? This one. Like this. Truly, what the WF is this? All right, now it's time for Bernie to figure out how to set up a YouTube poll.
There we go. All right, I am just about done. This is the reason, that sound. That's why I had to mute myself. So I'm just waiting for the epoxy to cure.
Fair. We appreciate that, actually.
Yeah, I love this video, by the way, because not only was it really interesting that whatever the heck these objects are flying around, which is, by the way, let me show her this. You see this? I was talking to you about this the other day, babe. And so these are these strange light shifting objects that were flying around the tether experiment. And this is what I was telling you about. We have no idea what the heck they are. Some of them look like they are in the foreground. Some of them look like they're in the background, actually behind this map.
And some of the bigger ones look like they're in the background.
They really do. And I've seen a video analysis on this file, and it seriously does look like some of these things are behind that tether. The most interesting part about this, I didn't think was whatever these objects were. I thought it was the fact that the tether picked up so much current flying through Earth's magnetosphere that it snapped the thing. It literally melted the tether.
Right, I was thinking that as I was like first announcing it, and I was like, "Well, wait, thank you for bringing that right back up," because it's like that's so huge, and then it's like, what would a true Space Needle / space elevator freaking be charging up?
Yeah, well, the cool thing is, like, for station keeping, when it comes down to trying to keep a satellite in correct orbit, they were able to find out that there is more than enough magnetic field to provide all the extra force, and they could literally repel off the Earth's magnetosphere to raise or lower the altitude of a satellite. Using this experiment, they found out just simply hanging a cable down from a satellite would provide it all the extra power it would need to run onboard electromagnets, even if there was no solar activity. The only problem with it is...
No.
All right, let's see. Is this center down?
Only problem is what?
The only problem is the system would lose velocity. Although you would be able to change the altitude, you would lose that speed. So there's only so much correction that can be done with it unless you have some kind of onboard thruster. But of course, there's lots of gaseous particles up there too, so you could push off of those. I see everybody is in the chat there, working on battery technology. Yeah, I emailed you. Didn't know if you got it. I was going to speak with you this morning. I have had some really strange stuff happen.
And Gerald, I just emailed you the link to join if you'd like.
All right, looks like it's time to unchuck that. Our cup now has an antenna, which means it's one step closer to producing a gravitational wave. This ought to be fun. So now that you've got me watching, I don't know if you want to start your jar.
Yes, momentarily. I'm just setting one thing up.
Indeed, indeed. That's weird.
All right, I think like that looks like some pretty bad like Photoshop, to be honest. Like, does the shadow really look like if the sun was lit up? I guess the sun would be on the opposite side of them. Okay, never mind.
Yeah, I'll be honest, I don't really have a problem with
sense.
that video. I know a lot of people have a problem with well, with any video that they say is allegedly from space. It's all a conspiracy and a projection, and I'm tired of hearing about that. But like, my opinion is pretty solid. Like, it's not a problem to go to space. It's just a matter of having enough energy to get something heavy up into orbit. We see crap come in from space. I don't see a problem with why we would not be able to go out into it. So again, not gonna spend time on conspiracies with that one. There's plenty of the conspiracy, I suppose. That
Oh, you've turned off London McLovin. We love you, London. Have a good day.
Oh well, the conspiracy I am definitely
I'm
into.
saying it's
They
space
cut.
plasma. Bro. It's an ocean of plasma.
Yeah, he said peace, by the way, a while back, and I hope that it's still streaming because I've got the loading symbol on my computer that I'm monitoring on. So hopefully this is still alive. I guess if it's live,
so,
somebody
yeah.
bet.
Yeah, we got 45 beautiful souls watching right now. Apparently, I think it's probably a little higher than that, but it is 4:01 a.m. on the Pacific coast. Oh my God, it's almost 6 a.m. where I am. I should probably be shutting her down pretty soon, as I still have stuff to do today. Where is that? See, we do live on the back of a giant crocodile. Or
Oh,
turtle.
it's not crocodiles? Because I thought it was turtles all the way down, man.
It's turtle and crocodile. I don't know. It's
I do
space
love that.
jellyfish.
Turtles
and
all the way down.
amoebas.
Much sense for the as above, so below. The fact that we see the same exact geometry on so many different scales is never been anything but fascinating to me.
Yes, sir. We are all but a Mandelbrot set. Ever spinning Mandelbrot. What was that ridiculous giant peninsula there? Crazy. That's some super zoom right there. That was wild.
It's actually a pretty awesome bit of footage there.
Macro, indeed, brother. Good to still be here, London.
You know what's really interesting is, Warren York had this theory that electrons might actually be made of a very high quantity of photons that were wrapped into a structure. And going off Bob Greenyer's investigation into exotic vacuum objects and their physical shape, wouldn't it be interesting if Tesla really was right in the literal statement, everything is the light? what if all these particles really were just made of clustered light in more complex geometries? And here's the funny thing too, it also makes a lot of sense because in the rubidium laser experiment, scientists were able to wrap up 3 photons into a spin, and the cluster of the 3 traveled slower than the velocity of light, and when it hit the target, depositing its momentum, it also exerted a rotational torque on that target. This is light putting a physical torque and trying to rotate something that it hits. That's rather unusual, and it does certainly give a lot of credence to
So what
is made of
what
light.
I find. Oh, sorry to interrupt.
Oh,
I
go
just
ahead.
all of a sudden had to blurt. I had to just blurt this out as there was this giant red. What the fuck is this that they just put on here? Like, what is this, NASA? Like, how do you go from this to this to this to this to this to this? Like, why isn't there just a guy with a camera that's like, oh, look, I'm in a shuttle. Oh, look, here this is as I zoom in. Oh, here, I walk over here to show this. Oh, look, I can show this. No, it's like, beep. Oh, then we give you this petri dish. Then we give you whatever these hexagons are. And then we give you this. And then this. And then this. And then this. So it's like, okay, you can film in there, but you can't. There's this between this and this. Like, it
Well,
just,
we'll put it up on the screen because there
why
I
is
just
it edited? Where's
looking on that pink screen lit up. So is that, what was the purpose of it? What's that there? Click on that. Yeah. So what is going on there?
what is this? What the actual F? Let us back that up. Indeed. What indeed do we have going on? Or like, I don't. Please make sense of this for me.
Well, my guess would be maybe that's a external camera that is set up on a display viewing window, and the grid is supposed to give you a perspective of the physical size of whatever it's pointed at. However, what it's pointed at, I have no idea, and now I'm even extra confused because what the heck is coming off of that to the left? Is this something under liquid? I really don't know. I've got no idea what that is.
Right? Like, look at this. Look at what it becomes. It's like, what the WTF are we watching? Because hold on, there's more. What's that? What are these? What's that? Like, what the what? Who are they? Where are those lights? We got neon worms. What the F is happening? All right. Like,
Yep, I haven't got a clue. I should probably know that, but surprisingly, I've never seen that footage.
and then we just got this guy that's like, yeah, I got this box, man. I got this back box, man. I'm gonna propose.
There's no
dude.
audio context or anything. They don't. Nobody's saying what's going on here on the video.
I guess I do have it muted, so let's replay that and see what they say. Good. Let's see what never a straight answer gives us for this, whatever this
now I
is.
know what the heck we're looking at there.
This fucking shit.
Because it looks cool.
And we're ready on merch here.
See, what's that going off to the left there?
Oh, is that would be the freaking tether snapping? I'm guessing that's the tether snapping and flying off. Maybe, but what the frick is
the foreground? It was in scale there. Whatever that was, it passed in front of the scale that's on our viewer side of that piece of metal there before the grid. So Like, this has got to be something that's all in the vacuum, and whatever they released, some kind of gas actually came up through that mesh. So that's not some kind of a flat screen. That's actually something that gases can pass through.
Can you hear me now?
Hey, we can hear you now.
Ah,
Yes,
stupid
sir,
camera. I've
we
been
got
having
G
nothing but
working down.
problems with it.
Oh my god.
Go ahead.
Well, let's rewatch this again. You're telling me this is a physical thing, and then we're gonna watch that thing. What?
Yeah, so that's open to the
What?
vacuum space. It's got to be, because what you're
What?
going to see is some kind of thick gas that distorts the light, and it'll pass in front of that little grid there. You see it right there, whatever that is. So that's got to be some kind of
Like
an
what?
open grid that they're
Like a
firing off
phosphorus.
gas is flowing back into that.
This just makes zero sense. This is not a straight answer. If I have never seen a straight answer before, this is the definition of it.
Well, I will tell you, I'm entertained by this footage. I haven't seen anything quite like
Like,
that.
what are these, like,
I think it
what
looks
the
super
fuck
cool.
is that, NASA? What are the
It
dancing,
looks
glowing jelly lights?
looks like they're looking out a portal, like you said, and then it sort of fills with the atmospheric gas from space, and it's sort of opening that area that you can see, but hard to say.
The gas they were using for launching the tether, it looks like made its way back past that grid.
And we're ready on Maurizio.
So what have you been working on?
Oh, so that giant grid. So this is a window, and then the grid is outside. Yeah. So this is a window, and the grid is outside. Like, cause look at what in the actual fuck? Did they just did they break out of the Matrix right there? Like, what the actual fuck is that?
I don't know. Space stuff is cool, man. It is.
And we're ready on
Yeah, but like, what in the actual fuck are they showing here? Like, this is what?
Whatever. They can show me more of it.
So you asked what I'm working on. I'm working on about 4 majors right now and a couple minors. I'm working on an epoxy battery, but I announced that a week and a half ago. I've gotten some good results. I've just upstaged it, so I'm pretty sure it should be dry in the next couple hours, and then I'll be doing my next test. I found out about certain things when it comes to gravity, space, environment. It really doesn't make a difference, but the scientific community will, of course, project that it does. I got some big boasts and some big claims, and I ain't going to make them all, but I'll tell you this. I've tried for the last 3 years to get into the scientific community to explain to them what I have and give it to them freely, and I get nothing but resistance because I guess I'm just an old white guy who doesn't have the credentials or speaks the right language. So,
well,
as far
there's
as I'm concerned,
too, right? Because like,
what's that?
I said there's another hard side of it too, because I don't necessarily have the credentials, but and I make a lot of claims too, but I also show quite a lot too, and I tell people what that secret is, and so of course a lot of people want what you have, but they're more interested in finding out how they can also have one to play with, and so because there's a lot of mystique around it, there's going to be a lot of pushback until people can check this stuff and verify.
I don't mind the pushback. I love the pushback. The problem is I ain't getting any. I ain't getting nothing, which is fine. Like I said before,
Gerald, are you having a horrible day because you're being attacked by the bots? Are the AI bots ruining your day again?
No, I ain't talking about bots, Bernie. You know what? I could get into it. It doesn't really matter to
or
the
the
point where
quackademic. The quackademic run the bots. Don't engage.
I want to give this to the public. I want to give this to the world, not to the scientific community. Because as far as I'm concerned, they're just gonna.
Yo, that guy right there, he was like, "Yo, this right here, this little black box that contained that pink freaking matrix that you just saw that was 2 miles long, that was a tether that broke. It exists in this little black box. Watch.
I see.
Watch. One more time.
I get it. You guys
See,
have
look,
a good one.
he's like, yo, this right here, this all here, and this all exists within this little box right there. Right there. Oh my god, there's another one. We get a circular one too. I spoke too soon.
And we'd like you to adjust the aperture dimmer.
Can you hear us? Cause like G was talking there and you just cut him off. Can you hear us at all?
I cut off G. I can hear G.
Yeah,
G, are you still there?
About
We
something
lost
and
you.
you just cut him off, man. He
Oh,
left.
I'm sorry.
Trying to talk over
I
him, man.
didn't mean.
Wrong
I'm
impression.
sorry. I was tired. I didn't mean to upset. Oh, my bad. But
Yeah, he may not even be on the stream anymore to know or have heard that.
oh, well, I was just trying to cheer him up. I'm sorry.
Oh well, I mean, more glitches. I could hear him. I don't know.
He gone. I don't see no more G.
No, I mean he did. He's like, I see how it is, or something on those lines, and he left. I think he thought that we just didn't want to hear him out, and that's not at all how it was. It's not at all.
Well, yeah, love you, Gerald.
Mistake.
But
it just sucks.
This is Houston. Are you ready for the event?
all right. Well,
Hi, this is Houston. Columbia for a
did
voice
you have a demonstration for us, good sir?
I don't have a demo, just a device that I'm putting together.
Gotcha.
And I don't know. I may be able to show that. I may not. Looks like the thing is all locked up. So I'm not sure what the heck is going on.
All right then.
I can say it looks like my computer is frozen, so maybe.
Well, it is 5:55 a.m. where I am, and I need to get a little bit of sleep. So, on that note, there's never a straight answer, and that is the story of the jelly plasma. We'll catch you on the next one.
We're with you on the flight deck.
Indeed. Take a look at whatever that strange stuff is in the jar.
Yes, indeed. Until then, ta-ta.